Hi everyone, this is basically the first creative video that I'm doing for the year 2025. The first video where I'm not speaking about a product, but about something that touches my heart. So today I'd like to speak about the fact that, do you know that for the longest time, I was never really appreciative of the fact that living in Malaysia means we are blessed with an abundance of vegetables all year round because we don't have winters and so on. We have all these and more all year round, guys. And I'd like to touch on the fact that being a multiracial nation means that we get to enjoy different kinds of vegetables that are traditionally cooked by the different races. Let me explain. Guys, these are as many vegetables that I could gather, okay? And some of them, the leaves have already turned a little yellow, like some over here, okay, because they've been sitting in my fridge for a while I was trying to compile the vegetables. And you know, as you were doing that, some got a bit yellow and then I had to rebuy, so it was a little bit of a difficult, a bit of a challenge, but I'm happy all the same. I'm starting the year being grateful for the abundance of vegetables that we get to enjoy, or I get to enjoy. And today, especially, it's about green leafy vegetables. Of course, there's tons of other vegetables and more leafy green vegetables, but these are what I could speak about and the few that I could gather. Let's talk about this one. Now, this one is called, in the Western world, it's called Chinese broccoli. Get it? Look at the fleshy stems and look at the leaves. Does it look like a broccoli? Like a head of broccoli? No, it doesn't. But it's part of the Brassica. If I'm not mistaken, it's part of the Brassica family, or part of the same family that the broccoli comes from. And thus, this one over here is a cruciferous vegetable. Did you know that? I didn't till about a few years ago that this vegetable, which is called Chinese broccoli, and in Chinese, it's called gailan. Okay, or as I call it, kailan. Okay, so this is the kailan that we refer to as kailan in, I think even the Malays refer to it, in even the Malay language, we just call it kailan in Malaysia. And it's a cruciferous vegetable. We all know how important cruciferous vegetables are for our health. It's anti-cancer causing, or sort of it prevents us from getting cancer. And it has so many numerous benefits, and it's one of those super foods that you should incorporate into your diet. Let me show you another cruciferous vegetable. This one, commonly called bok choy in Chinese, and I think even in the Western world this is called bok choy. It's got these light green stems. It's a really delicious and tasty vegetable, and it grows like this. Okay, so these vegetables, these are also cruciferous vegetables, which are so important for our diet. The only thing is, not many people know that this is also a cruciferous vegetable. So this is another vegetable that was introduced to us by the Chinese, and us being a multiracial country, we enjoy so many different kinds of vegetables, guys. It's just so it's so wonderful that we have all these different vegetables to enjoy, and sometimes we take it for granted, like I think I did. Another variety that's similar to this, but this one comes with white stems. Can you see, guys? This is light green and this is with white stems. And this is also another variety of bok choy, guys. Slightly bigger and with white stems, milky white stems. And then there's this tiny little version, tiny bok choy, which has started to grow a little yellow in my fridge. Okay, like this. Can you see how pretty it is? This is another version of bok choy. So these are all cruciferous vegetables, guys. And there's these vegetables which are called choy sum. Now, choy sum are called mustard leaves, and these vegetables, I don't think they are predominantly a Chinese vegetable, because these were already grown in Indonesia and so on, and also in India. Because mustard greens, let me just show you a smaller one. Okay, like this. These are mustard greens, and mustard greens were also grown in, especially in North India. They're called kadugu kira in Tamil, and in Bahasa Malaysia, it's called sawi. Okay, so I guess cultures do mix. All right, so that's that. And then we have the famous morning glory, which is so, I would say, endemic or so popular in Southeast Asia. This one is also referred to as water cabbage. I think water spinach, and sometimes also referred to as morning glory. Okay, now this is how this vegetable looks like. Let me just show you. So long leaves like this, full of water content, guys, and the leaves, there's a hollow, okay, and they grow in sort of sandy areas with lots of water. So this is called Chinese, no, this is called kangkong. Yeah, the Chinese name for this is kangkong. In Malaysia, it's called kangkong, and it's also known as water spinach and morning glory. We have these vegetables that in Bahasa Malaysia it's called bayam, and bayam means spinach, but these vegetables are not typical spinach, guys. This is more of an amaranth or an amaranthus plant, where this one in particular is called a tricolored amaranth because of the color. And you know, when vegetables have colors in them, you know they're so good, right? So these are tricolored amaranth, which can be cooked just like any spinach. And over here, just look at that, guys. This is red amaranth. Can you see this? Now I know that in the US, a lot of these amaranths, some of them are considered just decorative and sometimes also called weeds. But I do believe that they are being eaten now because they're full of nutrition. Okay, so these vegetables have also been grown in India, and well, us being multiracial, we have all these mixes of influence from the different races. This one, guys, it's a typical Indian vegetable that has been eaten by the Indians forever. It's called moringa leaves. Can you see? They are little tiny leaves like that, and it comes from the moringa tree. Although this has been in ancient Ayurveda, Indian Ayurveda for the longest time, but I do know that when I was living in the Philippines, these were being eaten in the Philippines as well. So you never know, guys, how ancient travelers spread their knowledge far and beyond. So this is moringa, which we in Malaysia enjoy. In Bahasa Malaysia, it's called daun kelo. Okay, this other vegetable, which is called sayur asam. I'm not sure whether it's Indian, but I think it's Indian and Malay. I'm not sure. So this one, guys, just look at the leaves. They're like fingers. Okay, and when you cook these vegetables, they're sour but full of vitamins, guys. So a very good vegetable to cook. I think in Bahasa Malaysia, it's called sayur asam. In Tamil, it's called pulicha kire, and I think in English, it's called roselle. Roselle leaves also produces beautiful flowers, which are also very nutritious. One thing else that you should note, guys, is the fact that the Malay culture and the Indian culture is kind of slightly merged. Okay, and this vegetable in particular, this one in Tamil is called ponang kani kire. Okay, it is very, very nutritious and it's so easy to grow. Okay, this one with these tiny leaves is called ponang kani kire, and in Bahasa Malaysia, it's called pucuk kurma. Okay, so you just look at that. So the Malays would cook it with lots of coconut, and they will call it masak lemak. Okay, so that is, lemak is the coconut cream has a lot of fat, and lemak is fat and cream. So they would cook it in a with lots of coconut cream, and we would cook it with grated coconut. Okay, so very much similar, and there's many varieties of this one, guys, and I'll show you some of the one other variety that I have in my garden. Let me just show you, guys. This is another variety of pucuk kurma, or in Tamil it's called ponang kani. This one I planted. It was just so easy to plant. So this is, and it kind of takes over your garden, guys. Okay, so this is the same ponang kani kira over there, which is eaten by both the cultures, and because Malaysia, being Malaysia, is probably eaten by all the races in this country. This delicious vegetable, which is called in Tamil, it's called manatakali kire. Okay, and in Bahasa Malaysia, this one is called pucuk meranti. Both cultures have traditional ways of cooking this vegetable. Of course, guys, curry leaves, which is so important to Indians, and I think now it's also being eaten in practically all races have this in their cuisine, curry leaves. So here, guys, is some ginger. Well, this is more an herb. And over here is lemongrass, which is not something which is predominantly Indian, but more a Malay herb that was used. And my mother being from Penang, which is in the north of the island where a lot of mixed cooking is done, I use this a lot. It's also called lemongrass, guys. Basically, the bulb is used to flavor soups and any dishes, even curries and so on. Pandan leaves, which is predominantly Malay. Here, guys, I'm trying to grow some torch ginger, which is also part of Southeast Asian cuisine. I don't have the flowers yet, but this brings such a heavenly flavor. The flowers, especially, would bring delicious Thai, lemony kind of a flavor to your salads as well as your soups and your food. One, guys, is I don't know exactly what type of lime this is, but in Bahasa Malaysia it's kaffir lime. Yeah, it's kaffir lime leaves, which is also not part of the Indian culture. This is more a Thai and a Malay, something that we have learned from the Malays, and this gives a delicious flavor to your soups, to your curries, and to your the sodis or something like that, which is made of coconut cream. This one, the leaves have it's called kaffir lime leaves, and in Bahasa Malaysia it's called limau purut leaves. They also have little fruits of lime, which is kaffir lime, but it's not very easy to get the lime, guys. Here, guys, is sweet leaves, or in Bahasa Malaysia it is called what is it called? It is called sayur manis, okay, and in Tamil it's called tausa murunga kira. I have more in the others, more over here, guys. All of them the same, tausa murunga kira or sayur manis. Of course, I'm trying to grow some. What is this? Turmeric, fresh turmeric over here. This is not eaten. The leaves on the top is usually used as a flavoring for certain Malay dishes. So I use it. A particular Malay dish that uses this, it's very important to use these leaves, is rendang. Everyone, the sun is setting, and as usual, I only started recording this video late in the evening. So I'm going to say bye for now. And I just want to say, just want to share my feelings of being grateful for all that we have. And I think all of us should be that way, grateful for everything that we have been blessed with. Here's Shakila Shanmugam signing off. Happy New Year, everybody.